First topic is the salient features of Juvenile Justice Act. So the Juvenile Justice Act of 2015 is a landmark legislation in India that aims to ensure underline welfare, protection, rehabilitation. Three things: welfare, protection and rehabilitation of children who are in conflict of law and need in care and protection. Two things, please underline: conflict with law, second is need in care and protection. So the act replaces the earlier Juvenile Justice Act of 2000 and sought to bring out India's juvenile justice framework in line with the international norms such as United Nations Convention on Right of Children. So it has tried to bring out new changes according to these provisions. Now the JJ Act of 2015 introduces several significant reforms in the treatment of juvenile, focusing on rehabilitation rather than punitive measures. Please underline. So it focuses mainly on the rehabilitation of the juvenile, not the punishment, not with the punitive measures. It applies to the children below the age of 18 years and ensure their protection, dignity and well-being in the legal proceedings. This act emphasizes a child-friendly approach to justice while addressing the special need of the children who are in conflict with law and those who need in care and protection. So I will tell you, when we talk about Juvenile Justice Act, there are two types of child. First child is child in conflict with law. Child in conflict with law means who has committed certain crimes, being a small child. Okay, and child in need of care and protection means the abandoned child who is left in the road. No one is there to take care for them. So that kind of child will be considered as child in need of care and protection. Now certain definitions are provided under this act. So we have already discussed Juvenile Justice Act applies to children under the age of 18 years. Please underline. Recognizing their vulnerability and need of protection and rehabilitation. So the act applies to children in conflict with law, the children who are accused of or has committed an offence. Child in need of care and protection means the children who are in the difficult circumstances such as abandonment, abuse, neglect or exploitation. So the act distinguishes between the juvenile in conflict with law and juvenile in need of care and protection, ensuring that both the categories of childs are treated differently according to their needs. Okay. Next is establishment of Juvenile Justice Board and Child Welfare Committees. Two things, please underline: Juvenile Justice Boards, Child Welfare Committees. So the Juvenile Justice Board and Child Welfare Committees are the key institutional bodies under the Act. When we talk about Juvenile Justice Board, so the J Board constituted to deal with the cases who are for the children in conflict with law. Please underline: children in conflict with law. The board consists of a principal magistrate, a judicial magistrate with exercise in children welfare matter, two social worker, at least one of which have experience in working with children, and one must be a woman. So the JJ board is empowered to conduct hearing and determine the age and the involvement of a child in criminal activities, decide on the nature of the intervention and treatment of children, make decision regarding rehabilitation and social integration of the child. So this is mainly for the child who is in conflict with the law, means the person who has committed certain crime. Now we will look into Child Welfare Committee. So the Child Welfare Committee deals with the children in need of care and protection. So it also comprises a chairman and 4 other members, including at least one woman and one child welfare expert. The CWC has an authority to take protective measures for the children in difficult circumstances, declare children as abandoned, abused and neglected, and take appropriate steps for their rehabilitation, make order for the children's adoption, foster care or placement in children's home. So these are the children mainly who are in need of care and protection. Now age determination and judicial procedure. So one of the important feature of JJ Act is the process of determining the age of the child. This is particularly important in distinguishing whether they are juvenile or adult. Now, age determination. The act stipulated that the age of the child should be determined before and judicial proceedings are initiated. A medical report can be considered as a age determination, but the primary basis, please underline, you will come through this again and again when you practice criminal law. And if the accused person is a child, in that case how you will prove his age? Either through school record, birth certificate, or any childhood record. And if there is ambiguity regarding the child's age, then the juvenile board is empowered to decide the age. Okay, so then JJ board, that is juvenile justice board, will decide what is the age of the person or the child. Now, judicial procedure and procedural safeguard. So the procedures in the juvenile justice system must ensure that the children are treated in a manner that respects their right and dignity. This includes ensuring child-friendly hearing, privacy and confidentiality. Child in conflict of law should not be subjected to adult criminal justice procedure. Underline, the focus is rehabilitation, reformation and social integration. So the main object must be to help the child to reintegrate or mix into the society back. Okay, so the act mandates that the children in conflict of law should not be tried in a regular criminal court, but instead in a specialized juvenile board, ensuring that the children receives proper attention, guidance and care. So they must not be tried with other adult person. Otherwise, if they stay with other adult person, they will get a confidence to commit more serious crimes. Okay, when they interact with them. Now, categories of juvenile offenders. First is children below the age of 16 years. So children below the age of 16 years who are in conflict with the law and has committed offence can only be tried by the juvenile justice board, which will decide on the nature of rehabilitation, the punishment, so if any reformative in nature. Then children between the age of 16 to 18. So children in the age group of 16 to 18 who has committed offence may face more rigorous judicial process. So if the children commits a heinous crime, the juvenile justice board can decide to try a child as an adult in certain circumstances. In case of heinous crime, the juvenile justice board has a power to direct the psychological assessment of the child to assess their mental maturity before deciding whether they should be treated as juvenile or tried as an adult. Okay, so if they have committed very serious offence or very heinous offence, so in that case the court will have to decide by the psychological assessment whether they should be considered as a child or they should be considered as an adult. Now, cognizance of heinous crimes by the children. So the act allows the trial of the children aged 16 to 18 as adult in case of heinous crimes such as murder, rape, terrorism related offences. However, the juvenile age and mental health are the factors that juvenile board will carefully consider before passing any judgment. Now, rehabilitation and social integration. This is the main thing, main objective of juvenile justice board. Okay. Yeah, so the core philosophy of Juvenile Justice Act is rehabilitation and reintegration of children into the society. So the law emphasizes that the children in conflict of law should not be treated as criminal but as children who need care, guidance and protection. So rehabilitation is seen as a process of providing the children with psychological counseling, vocational training and opportunities for education to facilitate their reintegration into the society. Now, social reintegration focuses reuniting the children with their family and placing them in a foster care or child care institution if necessary. So, this act mandates the creation, underline, this act mandates the creation of children home, special home, observation home for children in need of protection or rehabilitation. These homes are state managed, please underline. So these homes are state managed and ensure the well-being and care of the children. Now, adoption and foster care. So the Juvenile Justice Act 2015 recognizes adoption and foster care as a means of providing care to the children in need. So the act simplifies the process of adoption for children in need of care, ensuring that it is transparent and child friendly process. The Central Adoption Resource Authority facilitates inter-country and domestic adoption, ensuring that the children's best interests are kept into mind. Now, foster care. So children who cannot be adopted may be placed in the foster care arrangements, where they live with their families and provide a temporary care and protection. Now, offences and punishment for contravention. So whoever disobeys the law. So the JJ Act also laid down penalties for contravention of its provision. It specifically addresses issues related to mistreatment of children. Please underline. And any violation of right of the children in an institution or any legal proceeding. So any person who is found guilty of exploiting a child for child labor, child trafficking, child pornography is subject to severe penalties, including imprisonment and fines. Please underline. So the Act also provides for stricter sentences against children homes and children facilities that do not comply with the standard of care that is required, including legal and administrative measures. Now, special provisions for children in conflict with law. So in addition to the rehabilitation, the JJ Act also provides for the psychological assessment. We have already discussed this. Please underline. Of the children in conflict with law to determine their mental maturity and emotional health. This is crucial in determining the appropriate treatment or rehabilitation strategies. The Act also mandates the provisions of legal aid and counseling services to the children through the legal proceedings. Now, reviewing and monitoring. So the National Commission for Protection of Children is responsible for monitoring the implementation of Juvenile Justice Act. The Commission also ensures that the provisions of the acts are followed by both the government authorities and private agencies involved in the child welfare. Please underline. Government authorities and private agencies. Moreover, the state government are also setting up mechanism to review welfare of children in care, including regular inspection and audits of the child care institution.